Woof, bloody hell, that was tough. What they don't tell you about decadence is how bloody exhausting it is. I imagine all of those Roman senators spent their free time complaining that they didn't get enough sleep between orgies. The thing is that you get to an age where the desire to debauch is still there and you can summon up the strength, but bloody hell do you pay for it? That was my capsule review of Essen Spiel 2024. Also, on the Roman senator thing, they thought they were tired. I don't have an army of lackeys to clean up all of my effluvium, so imagine how I felt on the Monday after Essen, opening my eyes and realising a small cadre of amateur blacksmiths had taken up residence in my cranium. On top of that, I got sick. The kind of not fit for polite conversation sick. Did give me the opportunity for a good lie down though, and a catch up on Only Murders in the Building, so every cloud and all that. So after that all too revealing preamble, here I am, ready to witter on about Essen. Also, don't worry, this is the internet, so I will be descending into mawkish sentimentality at some point. So here we go. Work is a bastard. That is the truth of it. We live in a society where having a job you love is a source of social capital. But think about it. How many people actually love their job? 1/10%? Work is work. That's why they call it work. Still, you can't forget that social capital though. So people try their damnedest to love the job they have, to believe it with all their heart. That's why the workplace has become the modern temple. Offices are sacred groves where to admit you'd rather be doing anything else or that you're not totally enthused by your firm's mission or to even hint at the fact that you're only there for the money is to perform rank blasphemy. If we can admit that work is the exchange of time and skill for money, if we can embody that truth and dispense with all of the cultish paraphernalia around the modern workplace, we can stop answering bloody emails at 9 o'clock at night and get our lives back. Your job is not who you are. Your job facilitates you being who you are. Fuck that dickhead who wants you to be on call so you can shift more useless shit to make them richer. Well, I eschewed that world, and as a result, I have no money, no assets, and earn the poorly concealed pity of all of those around me. Once a year, though, those terrible decisions pay off. Once a year, I crawl out of the pigeonhole marked failure and into the one marked annoying twat with microphone. And this is at Essen. The work I do at Essen is simply wonderful. I get the opportunity to bumble around, have a few drinks and commit the views of some of the greatest names in this industry to tape. Anton Bowser, Rita Model, Martin Wallace, Cole Worley and a host of others. You can get to the podcast feed below and listen to me gradually deteriorate over the weekend. Sure, now I'm back to my pitiable life, but for 4 days, I'm in my element. I keep getting reminded by people, the organisers included, that Essen is not a convention but a fair. This is to sell it so short though. Sure, the doors close at 7 and you're unceremoniously thrown out into the street, but outside of the convention halls, there's just so much to do. Of course, I had my annual piss-up dinner with Martin Wallace at a Bavarian restaurant where I got to meet the designer of Tammany Hall, one of the most delightfully mean games I've ever played. On Friday night, I pitched up in the Sauerland fortress of Iserlohn to watch the Titanic Iserlohn Roosters get absolutely tonked by Frankfurt. I know shag all about ice hockey, but I was assured that Iserlohn were absolutely shite. There was beer at the sadly final Game Brewer booth and beers in the car park. The board game community is alive and well, and it comes together at Essen. So here's Editing Ben, here to tell you about the sponsor of this video, Grand Gamers Guild, new project Holiday Hijinks, currently on Kickstarter, funded and everything. So what you get if you back this is you get whole new 18-card escape rooms, the Holiday Hijinks. You get an interactive adventure during the Kickstarter campaign, only available to backers. You can get all of the holiday hijinks are about 50% of retail, and on top of that, you get to do them a load quicker than I did because it took me hours because I'm stupid. So if you're interested in brilliant 18-card escape rooms, go to Kickstarter, search Holiday Hijinks, back it for almost no money, and enjoy all over the seasons Holiday Hijinks from Grand Gamers Guild. And I want to thank them for sponsoring this video. Keep it reals! Essen wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the games. Well, I mean, the city would, but you know what I mean. It's why I went there a decade ago and why I continue to. I scour the list before going, but rarely come home with the games I want. This year was different, though. Here's a picture of my haul. Not that big, but I have a copy of Dead Cells and Civolution coming in the post. I've also managed to play a couple of these too. Chuhan is a wonderful ladder climbing game. No theme whatsoever, but a great time. Ratjack, I have learnt, is definitely not a two-player game, but Christ on a three-wheeler due for Middle-earth is brilliant. It expands on Seven Wonders Duel, but nothing feels extraneous, nothing feels tacked on. It is thematic and incredibly engrossing. I love this one, and we'll write up some more detailed thoughts on it soon. Feelings exist within our own conscious experience, and it is difficult to translate some of them into words because some things exist outside language. I'll give it a go though, as that's why you're here. If you look at the sheer number of attendees, the breadth of publishers, manufacturers and trinket purveyors, the amount of heavyweight names that do signings or you catch just strolling through the halls, you realise that Essen is truly significant in this industry. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this sense as you wade through the waves of people, the eager sellers screaming their wares at you and the fizz of the sound of hundreds of thousands of conversations going on at once. It's this sense that you are truly at the centre of this art form. The ripples that start at your table at home reverberate out to their logical endpoint, the reservoir where the energy of all the gamers in the world is collected. And every year this energy collected in a mid-sized city in Germany is then sent out again to the wider gaming world. Sent out by publishers and designers and hordes of gaming evangelists that go to the show. Essen feels like the power plant that gives energy to this industry. Of course I might be engaging in the worst kind of hyperbole, but when you're there though, intoxicated by its sheer size, you not only feel a part of something, but at the centre of it. I love Essen for this. Firstly, I don't really take photos, so I have to thank the fragrant Steven Syrek for his inestimable shutter skill. This is a hobby built around people sitting around a table, revelling in each other's company, so how could Essen be about anything other than being with people? There is no doubt that when you're trying to carve through the crowds, you wish you could really carve through the crowds, but for a person who spends far too much time alone, spending time with a load of wonderful people who want to spend time with you is life-affirming. There is the regular crew who I see every year, Uli and Steve and Martin and Matthew and Karthik and Johnny, a host of stable people who I can rely on to spend a few stolen moments with. These are the regular cadre of friends who help you to piece your life together. Then there's the random people that you spend a second or a few fleeting minutes with as you pass in and out of each other's lives. Then there's the people who perform random acts of kindness, like Manuel, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his surname, who gave me a copy of one of my Grail games and was then forced to be wibbled at by a drunken idiot for an hour. It's a hoary old cliche, but this hobby really is about the people. And Essen is proof of that. We are all defined not by our ever-changeable beliefs or where we like to stick our genitals, but by the connections we forge in life. It is our relationships that make us, and so Essen goes some way to giving us our humanity. It makes us more human. See? I told you there'd be some mawkish nonsense. Well, there we are. Tell me in the comments how your Essen was and get ready for the flood of post-Essen reviews coming up. You can listen to all the content I recorded at Essen by following the links below, and you can also buy merch and join the best Discord in gaming. You can support the show, like these lovely people here, by going to patreon.com/5G4D, and if you liked the video, you can like the video and even sub to the channel. Right, I'm off to have an aura cleanse, because there's one thing you know about those: they really work. Still, you can't forget that we live in a society where having a job you love is a source of social capital. But think about it. Oh, fuck you, Mario. There was beer at the sadly final Game Brewer booth. I was assured that ease alone... And every year this energy collected in a mid-sized city in Germany... See, I told you that... It's like Manuel. I'm not even going to... Those I see every year. Uli and Steve and Martin and Matthew and Karthik and Johnny and a host of stable people. Okay, one more time. I'm going to do it this time. It's fine, actually. It's not right. There's a but that needs to be there. And if you liked the video, you can like the video. And you can even tell me what your greatest con or Essen experience was. Don't have to get stressed out.